In 1986, one experiment changed everything in the Soviet Union. Near the border of Ukraine, there was a nuclear power plant called Chernobyl. It was one of the most powerful plants in the world. It was designed to produce energy for millions of people. But on one night, it became something else. April 26, 1986. The engineers inside the plant were preparing for a test, a safety test. They wanted to know, what would happen if the power suddenly went out? Could the reactor still function? Just long enough to prevent disaster? To run this test, they made a decision. They slowly began turning off safety systems. One by one, systems designed to protect the reactor were disabled. At first, everything seemed normal. The control room was calm. The machines were running. But inside the reactor, something was going very wrong. The power level dropped too low. That should have been the moment to stop. But instead, they pushed forward, trying to fix the problem. They pulled out control rods. These rods were supposed to control the reaction. Without them, the reactor became unstable. Then suddenly, the power surged. Not slowly, but violently. Within seconds, the energy inside the reactor increased beyond control. The operators tried to shut it down, but it was too late. A massive explosion tore through the reactor. Then, a second explosion followed. The roof was blown apart. Fire filled the night sky, and radioactive material was thrown high into the atmosphere. But the most dangerous part was invisible radiation. It had no smell, no color, no warning. Firefighters arrived within minutes. They thought it was just a fire. They climbed onto the burning reactor. Without protection, without knowing, they were walking into something deadly. The fire burned for days, and the radiation spread across the land. Nearby, the city of Pripyat was still asleep. People woke up the next morning and continued their normal lives. Children went outside. Families walked in the streets. No one told them the truth. Hours passed, then more hours. It took nearly 36 hours. Before the evacuation began, buses arrived. People were told to leave. Temporarily, they were told. They would come back soon. They never did. The city was abandoned, left exactly as it was. Toys, still on the ground. Food, left on tables. Time, frozen in place. The area became known as the exclusion zone, a place where human life was no longer safe. Years passed. Nature slowly returned. But the radiation remained, even today. Parts of Chernobyl are still dangerous. What happened that night was not just one mistake. It was a chain of decisions, small choices, that led to something irreversible, a disaster that changed the world forever. Some places should never be pushed too far. Welcome to the FactVerse, where facts get weird. Follow for more weird and amazing facts.